Welcome to the Abundance Effect, where we empower ambitious women with practical tools to live their most rich and fulfilling life in business and beyond. I'm your host, Larisa McCook. Let's get started. Have you ever done something you've done 100 times before and suddenly felt differently? Like the same activity, the same structure, but had a completely different experience. That's what I want to talk about today. Something really simple, but wildly underestimated. The power of contrast through your senses and how doing the same things differently can actually unlock your creativity, your energy, and parts of you that you forgot even existed. Now, before I get into the how, I want to tell you a quick story. A few weeks ago on one of my morning success calls, we were talking about contrast. We went through the usual where you are versus where you want to be, the good versus the bad. We went through different emotional states, even contrasting timelines and speed. Nothing totally new, but solid and really useful. Okay, this is what they come for. It's great. But then on Thursday, I decided to switch things up and I wanted to have fun. God serendipitously put an 80s play mix in my YouTube player, and I decided to click on it. This is not our typical vibe on a morning call. However, we went with it. This was not a massive strategy. There wasn't huge intention, but the intention was to just play. And you know what? We absolutely did. The energy in the room changed. One of our clients at the end of the call, she even shared something that really, really landed. And that's why we're doing this episode right here, right now. She's like, the music brought me back to my old self, to parts of myself that I have totally forgotten about. Because she was able to go back to those moments where she heard those songs, where she lived those experiences. She had different feelings that she had forgotten about for years, not because it was gone, but because she had forgotten it. She had moved on from that part of her life. And it's not that we want to go live in the past. However, there are parts of us that we sometimes forget about and we forget to carry with us into the future within a matter of minutes. She took those same practices we normally do, the same structure that we typically follow, but accessed a completely different state. She was more alive, more open, and more her. And that's the moment I want to unpack today. Here's the thing. Music doesn't just change your mood, it actually changes your state. And your state determines your thinking, your creativity, your decisions, everything. There's real science behind this. When you listen to music, especially music that's tied to memory, your brain lights up in multiple areas at once. The limbic system, which has emotions, the hippocampus, which stores your memories, and the prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for decision-making and creativity. Studies show that music can actually increase dopamine levels, the same neurotransmitter linked to motivation and reward. It also reduces cortisol. That's your stress hormone. So what does that mean in real life? You think better, you feel more, you access different parts of yourself. And here's the thing that most people miss. This isn't just about feeling good and going, oh, I'm high vibing, yay. This is actually about access. It's about access to ideas that you weren't having. It's about access to energy that you weren't feeling. It's about access to identity that you were not embodying. So just think about it. There's versions of you that exist in your past. There's the playful version, the bold version, the creative version, the version who doesn't need to overthink absolutely everything. Those versions, they didn't disappear. You just may have stopped accessing them. And sometimes all it takes is a different input to unlock a different output. I'm not telling you to just go make a playlist and call it a day. I'm inviting you to experiment, to play, to stop being so rigid in how you do things. What would happen if you did your morning routine with completely different music? What would happen if you worked in silence one day? What if you worked with high energy music the next? What if you revisited something that you loved as a kid just for the sake of it? Maybe drawing, dancing, writing, being outside, finger painting. No agenda. Just access it. Go there. Try it. Maybe music isn't your thing, but the principle still applies. Your environment absolutely shapes your state, and your state shapes your results. That's neuroscience. Your brain is constantly responding to sensory input. What you hear, what you see, what you touch, what you surround yourself with. So if your day feels flat or repetitive or uninspired, this might not be your routine. It might be how you're experiencing your routine. Okay, so let me say that again. If things feel flat, repetitive, uninspired, meh, it may not be what you're doing. It might be how you're experiencing it. And so a simple way to start is take something you're already doing every day. Don't add more, just shift the input. Ask yourself, how can I do it a little bit differently today? Maybe change my music, change my space, change my pace. And then here's the thing. This is the important thing. You actually have to pay attention. What changes? Do your thoughts change? Does your energy change? Does your creativity change? Here's the thing. You don't always need a new strategy. Sometimes you just need a new state. And state is something you can absolutely influence on purpose. One of my favorite lines is, you don't become more creative by trying harder. You become more creative by accessing more of yourself. And most people are operating from this same narrow band day after day, week after week, year after year. The same thoughts, the same inputs, the same patterns. And they're wondering why nothing changes. Most of the thoughts that you think day after day are the same. If you're thinking the same things, if you're putting the same inputs in, if you're doing the same things, how can things change? They can't. So here's what I want you to take away. This week, I want you to take one thing you already do. Don't add something, take something you're already doing. Maybe it's gratitude, maybe it's journaling, maybe it's meditation, maybe it's your fitness routine, maybe it's doing the dishes or the laundry. Maybe it's, for me, it was prepping my podcast episodes today. I had 4 episodes I was prepping and I did it differently. And you know what? I had fun. I am having some of the most fun recording these episodes today. I always have fun doing it. Today it's a little bit different. Why? Probably because I started by this one. It's not better. It's not more efficient. It's just different. And notice what opens up. The goal is not just productivity. It's aliveness. You want to feel alive in your life. This is about access. This is about expansion. And I totally want to hear from you. I want to know what you tried. What did you actually try with this? What shifted? Please send me a message on Instagram at My Abundance Academy, because I love hearing what lands for you. So don't forget, send me a message. Let me know what you tried. Let me know what shifted. Let me know what landed for you. And I'm going to see you again in the next episode of The Abundance Effect next week. Bye for now. If this idea of doing the same things just a little bit differently landed for you, this is exactly what we do inside the Momentum Lab each and every week. We don't overcomplicate it. We take what already matters and create simple, structured rhythm around it so that you can actually follow through. Because here's the truth. Momentum is not built from big bursts of effort. It is built from consistent, focused execution over time. The Momentum Lab is the structured weekly reset system that turns scattered, overwhelmed high achievers into focused, self-trusting executors who actually get results. It's simple and it works. So if you're ready for that, head on to the link in the comments or send us a direct message on Instagram at My Abundance Academy, and we're going to get you all the details.